What's up here, and a good morning to you on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We appreciate you being here every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, where sports meets life here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and we appreciate your patience here this morning. Of course, we are inside of the Heritage Hill Studios. Heritage Hill out in Pompey. You'll find them in central and upstate New York in the rolling, beautiful hills of our amazing natural landscape, proudly provided by God. And you will find that beauty, that majesty out in Pompey at Heritage Hill Brew House. And then right in the mix of so many things, you will find Heritage Hill North by the airport, by North Syracuse, in North Syracuse, by East Syracuse, by Cicero, by Clay, by Liverpool, by the city of Syracuse. So easy to get to from so many major highways. 628 South Main Street in North Syracuse, New York, you will find Heritage Hill North. So make sure you head out there as well. Welcome here to Friday's broadcast of Wake Up Call. I'm always happy to be here with you, hanging out on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt, facebook.com/wakeupcalldt, and on wakeupcalldt.com. So however you're tuning into the show, we welcome you. I thank you, and I appreciate you so very much. All around the world, and folks, you know it's Friday, which means that we get to do our trio of signature segments that we do every single Friday, that being the annoying moment of the week, which will start off proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt, and then we'll get into Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver, proudly presented by the fantastic team at Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. Today's topic, something that we have never spoken about I've never said these words quite like this. So I'm very excited about what this is, because it's about two things. Well, it's about one thing that people talk about all the time. Some people are okay with it. Some people can't stand it. But there's a positive spin on it that I think you're going to want to hear this morning. And we're also going to get into our Top Dog of the Week announcement, proudly presented by Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding, both of East Syracuse, and both the place to send your dog for some sweet, wonderful, consistent, and amazing care. So, very excited for everything that's coming up here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets that thing called life. I appreciate y'all so very much. Cannot thank you enough, again, for your support, for your positivity, for your goodness, and I just love what I do. So I'm very honored to be here. I'm very happy to be hanging out with you this morning on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and it is time to get into the annoying moment of the week. All inside of MonPazPopcorn.com's What's Poppin', and toward the end of today's broadcast at 10:15 a.m. Eastern Time, I will be joined by Allen Griffin, Syracuse Orange men's basketball assistant coach. Following the changes to the coaching staff, the changes to player personnel, Allen Griffin will join me. He's been with me for many years, and this morning we get to have our newest conversation right here on Wake Up Call inside of the Heritage Hill Studios. Let's get into the annoying moment of the week.
Dan Tortora proudly brings you...
Is that for real? Are you kidding me?
The annoying moment of the week.
I really, honestly, I don't know how to respond to this.
Presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street. It's what happy tastes like.
Do you have to be that crazy? I guess so. The annoying moment of the week. I love doing the annoying moment of the week. So I always have a good time with this. It is our longest standing segment on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. And not only our longest standing segment, it comes from our longest partner that has worked with us on Wake Up Call. So much appreciation to the partnership that we have with Carvel DeWitt, and of many years, over a decade, and the annoying moment of the week for over a decade as well. So it's time to get in to the annoying moment of the week. What is it, folks? Well, I tell you, when I have more than one annoying moment, that I have scoops, right? Because Carvel DeWitt brings this to you, so it's easy to remember. A couple scoops of the annoying moment of the week. My first annoying moment of the week are the people that take up multiple parking spots. The multiple parking spot taker-uppers. There was a guy who had a truck, and he had pulled into a parking spot sideways and took up the spots. But sideways. Who parks sideways? What maniac parks like that? And I remember I was going into the store, and I was trying to remember where I was at. I was like, was I at a restaurant? I was going into a store, and this car was just parked in I think I saw multiple like this. And the one that I remember distinctly was like beat up. The car was all beat up. I got to be careful what I say here. I can't say the color of the car. So if you listen to be like, that's my car, Dan. But I'm just saying this car was just nasty looking, just grimy, and parked in as many spots as it felt like it needed. And I just, really what it is, the underlying, the undertones of what I'm saying here this morning is that people need to be more considerate of other people, right? You are not living on this planet by yourself, even though sometimes you think you are. This is not just your planet. This planet actually belongs to God. And when you're on this planet and doing your thing and living your best life, to be considerate of the fact that there's other people out there trying to do the exact same thing, trying to live their life, trying to be, store goers, restaurant eaters, whatever it may be. But the people that park on the line, the people that park over the line, and now the people that park who parks sideways? Who comes into a place and parks sideways? Well, I got a big truck, Dan. Okay. All right. Then do what the Winnebagos do. I mean, what do you want me to tell you? I mean, I feel bad because, okay, let me not say that because the Winnebagos park really far away. But let me just say this. What if this person had to park closer because maybe they have a knee injury, right? Maybe something's bothering them. Maybe their legs are tired. Maybe they've had a long day. Maybe they just got in a fight with somebody that they're dating or a friend or something like that. So it's just been like a bad evening for them or something of that respect. That could be the case, right? That could be the case. But maybe it's not. Maybe this person is just a maniac. So you don't know. And that's the thing about the stories of life is we don't know what any person's going through. You don't know what I'm going through. Maybe I didn't have a great day. Maybe I didn't have a great day, and not even I didn't have a great day, because I think every day is great when you wake up. But maybe I'm tired. Maybe I got into an argument with somebody. Maybe somebody treated me poorly, and I just want to go and get myself what I need at the grocery store, and I want to go home. Maybe I'm feeling that way. See, we need to be considerate of other people. That's really what I'm getting at here. Is we have to be considerate of other people on the planet. You have to think of others all the time. Good morning, Mama. Appreciate you watching and listening here. But we have to look at this world and look at others and be respectful and be kind. It's not that hard to just not park in 72 spots, okay? Maybe don't do that. Maybe find a way to not park in so many spots. And be more considerate. So that's one of my annoying moments of the week. Are the people that just can't help themselves from parking all over the road. And in that same respect, it's the people that are not paying attention, right? The people that are just kind of doing whatever they want on the road. And I'm guilty as charged too. So, that those phones, folks, sometimes we pick them up. We can't. We shouldn't. I shouldn't. You shouldn't be picking up these things, right? Do what you got to do. If you need to set your GPS, set it before you leave. But don't be looking at that, right? We got the hands-free thing now. When a text message comes in, we can hit a button, and then it'll read the text message back to us. Then we can reply while we're driving. We don't have to look at anything. Stop watching videos when you're driving. Stop looking through stuff when you're driving. You can voice text now. I need to be better. Maybe you need to be better. But it's important to be considerate. And it's important to be safe more than anything else. So don't be taking up all these spots at the grocery store. It's ridiculous. That's my first annoying moment of the week. My second annoying moment of the week, I had a few of them today. And I had a few thoughts today on what my annoying moment of the week should be. Yesterday, Mom, if you're still listening, yesterday, Mom and I went out and got some food. I'm not going to say where we went, but we went to a chain place. That's what I'll say. We went to a chain place. And Mom and I went and got what we thought was some, harmless food. Basic food, right? A little bit of pancakes, a little bit of eggs, It was closer to the house, and I had to go do some stuff after. So Mom and I were like, hey, we're going to get some food, right? We're going to have some nice conversation. We're going to be about our business. $46. $46. My mom got eggs and hash browns and toast. And I got pancakes and that had like a dipping sauce, like a thing, a caramel sauce on it. And some egg stuff, right? A little omelet, a little love. $46. $46. How do you sleep at night? That's a nice dinner. That used to be a nice dinner. My omelet at this chain place that we stopped at yesterday, almost $19. Almost $19. The pancakes came with it. But because I got a specialty pancake, which just had like liquid, like little caramel, little this, $3.59 for them to pour something on my pancakes. Now, granted, the food was good. The food was good. It wasn't $46 good, but it was good. $3.59. Your pancakes are free, but because we poured something on it, I pour syrup on it, that's free. So the pancakes are $3.59 because you poured something on it. Free pancakes, but because there's caramel on it, now it's $3.59. In the omelet, over $18, $18.59, $18.79. My mom's stuff was $46 in total. My meal alone of the $46 was, because I got water. Oh, and I got some lemonade to drink. $23. $23 for omelet and pancake. It probably cost them. I mean, there was chicken in it, so maybe it cost them $10, $8. I don't know. But come on, folks. For pancakes and eggs and a little bit of hash browns, almost $50 to eat. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's asinine. Who does that? But that's what it was. So that's my annoying moment of the week. It's got to be. Because here my mom and I are thinking like this is going to be like $20, right? It's going to be like $20, $23, double. We're not eating in the Taj Mahal. This isn't Vegas. I'm in my hometown of Syracuse, New York. $46 for eggs and pancakes. I know egg prices went down, so I know y'all are lying about that. I know eggs are like 2 something right now. They ain't 6 something right now. So unless, these are magic eggs from some mystical creature that you found, and unless the chicken is actually pieces of dragon, $46 is way too much. So that's an annoying moment. I also cleaned out my garage. I did a lot of cleaning in my garage. And when I realized in my garage that I haven't touched like certain things in years, I had stuff in my garage, and thank God, thank you, Jesus Christ, thank you, Lord, God the Father, thank you, the Holy Spirit, thank you to God that the stuff was intact. I had papers in there, untouched, not moldy, not wet, not dewy, nothing. I'm cleaning stuff out, and I'm going, how is this in there? How is this other stuff in there? By the way, one of the greatest feelings is when you start to clean up an area and you like know where everything is. Like I put all the important stuff that I still have to go through or I want to have close to me, I put that in one area. And then I said, okay, Christmas stuff here and Christmas stuff there. Now let's put the Christmas stuff together. Let's get all that together. You know, my mom always tells me you have stuff for fall. Why don't you put it out? And it's because I didn't know what box it was in. Now I know what box it's in. So now I can adjust with that. But to me, when you clean out your garage, and by the way, like I said, throwing stuff out, just throwing out garbage. I found my ex's sister's slipper. One slipper. I could not stand these slippers. These slippers have been in there for almost 10 years. There was one slipper. They're ugly and they're stupid and they didn't smell good. And now they're gone. And now they're gone. They're gone. And when you find something that someone left at your house and it has tags on it, for sale now. So making money now. But yeah, I mean, you know, I like garage sales and I'm just thinking about stuff that you find. Just things that you find in just the goings on of it all. The stuff that you can find in your garage. And I found, like I said, I found really important stuff. I found sports cards that are like Damon Stoudemire cards. And you know I have a Damon Stoudemire collection probably bigger than anybody else's. And I had cards in there. I had my dream team in there. I had this stuff that's like I had like Magic's Return to Basketball in there. And, you know, I had no idea that they were there. I had absolutely no idea they were there. I know my mom's listening right now, and she's like, of course you didn't know they were there, Daniel, because you don't know what you have. And yes, that's true, Mom. And I love you. But I didn't know what I had. By the way, if anybody needs a wedding photo, like a picture frame, I can never think of the word picture frame in the last couple months. I'm like, the photo holder? That's an annoying moment, too, that I don't know the terminology picture frame. I'm like, the things that hold your photos. If you need a very expensive picture frame for your marriage, I have many that I never used. These things look like they just came out of the box. These would probably, if you went to Kohl's, they'd probably be like $40. So I have a plethora. People are going to come to my garage sale and be like, oh, he has stuffed animals. He has some clothes. He has some electronics. He has some cards. And he has so many wedding picture frames. And the thing is, I never use them. They've never been used. Because in the pictures that come with it, the stock photos, there's happy people. And I was not happy in what I had, obviously. I was happy for a little while. I was happy for a bit. I was. But we never used the picture frames to prove it. So if you need, these are not lightly used. These are not, you know, man angry at ex-wife throws picture. No, these are never before used picture frames. They're really nice. There's a part of me that's like, you know what? Maybe I should keep one for when I get married. But I'm like, nah, taboo. It was bought for me. And that's the thing. When you put stuff on registries, this is another annoying moment. I got to hit this quick. When you put stuff on registry, okay, if I'm getting married, my mom knows this. She's going to laugh when I say this. But I believe you should put on a registry the things that you want. Okay? I have pots and pans. By the grace of God, I have many things. I have pots and pans. I have plates. I have silverware. I don't need any of that. I don't need fine china. Okay? Because the only president I'm inviting to my house is if I run. So I don't need any of those things. And I don't know why people ask for this stuff. They ask for picture. Why are you asking for a picture frame that's like $50? So this is my deal with my mom, and my mom knows this. There are paring knives. If you don't know what a paring knife is, it's a knife. It looks like a normal knife. But apparently, it can cut through pears. It can cut through anything. It's a knife. That's all it is. But they're $500. So I said, why can't I put a $500 TV on the wedding registry? And my mom goes, because you don't do stuff like that. And I said, at the end of the day, $500 is $500. If you give me a $500 gift card, if you give me $500 in cash, if you give me a $500 paring knife or a $500 TV, $500 is $500. So why can't I put a TV on there that's $500 if the paring knife is also $500? So my belief is put on the registry what you want to put on the registry. And if and when I ever get married again, I am putting all of the things that I want that I do not have. I'm not putting on stupidly expensive things that I do not need. I mean, I don't need another TV, but I'm saying if I have a choice between a television or a glass stand that holds my cake suspended in the air, am I a bakery? No. And what do I need these picture frames? They are heavy. These things were like made with, you know, the silver of 1,000 moons. These are beautiful, beautiful picture frames. Never been touched by human hands, except to take them from their box and put them out there for the garage sale. If people are wondering what that was, there's one fly. There's one fruit fly that comes into my studio every year. I think he hibernates in the winter. This is probably the true annoying moment of the week. He hibernates in the winter. He hides. He trains himself, and he gets prepared. And then he comes out, and he flies at my face during a show. There's only one, thank God. It'd be great if there was none that were in the studio. He comes to my face. I go like that. And then he goes away. And then he might come back one more time during the show, and then he just hangs out. He's very elusive, and he's very tiny. And why there is one fruit fly in my studio, and I think this is the same one. I think this is the one that's been here for at least 3 years. Shout out to him. I'm going to call him Billy. And Billy is a trooper. Billy will not go away. Billy's just doing his thing, living his best life, flying at my face for his claim to fame every week to be like, I'm going to get Dan to swat at me so he looks like he's insane. Because if you're watching the show right now, you can't see him. He's so small. So when I go like this, you think that I'm out of my mind. And that's what insects do. When you walk down the street, other comedians have talked about it. You walk down the street and a bee flies by you, or the thing is when you don't know if it's a bee or if it's a fly, and they come to your ear and you just hear and you don't know if it's a bee or a fly. And where do they come from that you don't hear them coming until they hit your ear? Are they silent? They're like, okay, do nothing, say nothing, just lower our volume, and then and you don't know if it's a bee or a fly, and you do this thing, and you swat, you frantic, sometimes you bend back, some of us fall over, some of us yell out swear words, me, and I feel like insects, there's a time that I think that insects were put on this planet, sometimes I believe this, for God to be able to laugh on a tough day, on a rough day, on one of those days where it's just, you know, God's up there going, you know, my people are acting crazy again. Sometimes I feel like he put bugs on this planet just so he can laugh at the very unique reactions that we all have. So if you're keeping a tally, my annoying moment of the week is people who park in multiple spots and park sideways. It is also the fact that pancakes and eggs cost $46 at a chain restaurant. Boo. And then the next one was the garage stuff. Finding stuff. Oh, yeah. When you find stuff that like somebody's left at your house and it has tags on it and you can sell it. That's awesome. So there's that. And then it was the picture frames, and then it was the fly. So you got 5 scoops of the annoying moment of the week today. And I hope you enjoy every single bit of your Sunday that was made here for you in the annoying moment of the week. Proudly presented by the fantastic team at Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street. It is what happy tastes like. We'll be back after this fast break from the Heritage Hill Studios to speak on LEAD. LEAD, the acronym Learn, Evolve, Ad-lib, and Deliver. Proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. Today's topic, change is inevitable. So is God. Central New Yorkers, you can now enjoy the tastes of Heritage Hill award-winning craft beers, seltzers, and a full bar at 3 locations. Spend your weekends at their beautiful location in Pompey with its amazing views, sunsets, family, and pet-friendly facilities, as well as extensive private event areas. Get their taps, tonics, and tastes in their brand new North Syracuse location at Sweetheart Corner in North Syracuse, New York. When flying in and out of Syracuse Hancock International Airport, make sure to visit their Palladino Farms location. At Heritage Hill, they believe in supporting our community and are excited to now meet you where you're at and where you're going with their local farm-raised tastes. Find out more information at heritagehillbrewery.com.
Hi, this is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating at 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and always online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, order anywhere, anytime at maandpaspopcorn.com. Stop in to get a tin at Ma and Pa's on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York to get your half-price refills for the rest of your life. Come to Ma and Pa's for your holiday gift giving for family, friends, employees, and clients. And remember, for fundraising and events, to call 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Rd in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville Bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you. Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
Our corporate purpose at Chick-fil-A is to glorify God by being faithful stewards of all that's entrusted to us and to positively influence all those who come in contact with Chick-fil-A. And what became increasingly clear from our success in Cicero is that people love Chick-fil-A. And also I think we recognize that, we had a great opportunity to grow the brand and grow our platform. I felt incredibly grateful when I was selected to be a Chick-fil-A operator. I think what it's meant for me, what I've come to realize on a very deep level is that this is a calling for me. It's not a career. It's not a job. The Lord called me to be a Chick-fil-A operator and to use these restaurants to glorify Him and to positively influence other people. I'm blessed. I'm very blessed.
Head to Chick-fil-A Clay on 3974 State Route 31 in Liverpool, New York. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We appreciate you being here, hanging out with us on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and thank you so much for being a part of the show Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time here inside of the Heritage Hill Studios. You know that Heritage Hill is out for you in Pompey in the rolling hills of central and upstate New York on Sweet Road at Heritage Hill Brew House, and also Heritage Hill, you could find them on Heritage Hill North, 628 South Main Street in North Syracuse, New York, and they are right there at Sweetheart Corners in their newest location. So having a location in the country, having a location in the city hustle and bustle, they are now wherever you're at. Heritage Hill North, Heritage Hill Brew House, and in the airport, you can go to Palladino Farms and find them there as well. Inside of MonPawsPopcorn.com's What's Poppin', we brought you the annoying moment of the week. Sometimes you just can't wait to get rid of slippers. That's all I'm going to say. The annoying moment of the week, and then lead, learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver is the next piece of today's show here on this Friday. Lead, learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver. An acronym that I created by the grace of God, with God's help, very much so. 1,000,000% to Him, 0.101 to me. Lead, learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver. Proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. Today's topic, change is inevitable. So is God. It's a different way to look at change, because change is inevitable. Change will happen, no matter what. Change gonna come. It's what it is. But as much as change happens, God happens too. And the inevitability of change scares us, right? But if you know that something is going to happen, you know that, not even that you know something's going to happen, but you know that change is inevitable. Change occurs. If you know that that's the case of life and you continue to fight against it, why are you fighting against something that is just going to naturally be existing? We spend a lot of time fighting things we cannot change. And one of the things we can't change is change, because it is inevitable. Change happens. It just does. But the next time that you witness change in your life, the next time that you see change in your life, understand that the inevitability of change does not trump the inevitability of God. That as much as things may change, as much as things do not stay the same, as much as something might be this way and not that way, and we wish it was this way, and we wish it changed back to that way, God is with you through every change. God is with you through every season. God is with you through every piece of your life. There is never a time where God will see you go through change and leave you alone. God is not a human being, simply. Jesus was divine and human. God is not simply a human being. Why do I mention that? Because human beings sometimes are selfish. Human beings sometimes do whatever they want, regardless of consequence. Human beings sometimes get bored, sometimes don't care, sometimes are aloof, sometimes just don't do what they say they're going to do. And sometimes we compare God to that. We think of God as a human. We think, well, my friends don't always show up, and my girlfriend did this, and my boyfriend did that, and da-da-da-da-da. And we think, well, because they did that, God's going to do that. That's not God. God is consistent. God is always there. When you pray, God doesn't go, hold on one second. That's another annoying moment of the week when somebody puts a finger up to you. Put that finger up. Just a minute. Hold a moment. Just a minute. When someone's talking on the phone and then they just point the finger at you, they just give you the finger and they don't say anything. Oh, my goodness. I'm going to bite that finger off. But we think of God as a human. And people say, well, yeah, Dan, God came to us as a human, as Jesus Christ. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that we think God is simply human. God is not simply human. Human beings are flawed. So when we talk to God sometimes, we think of God as a human being, thinking that God is flawed. Well, what if God's pissed at me? Well, what if God doesn't care? What if God doesn't want to talk to me? That's the thing about God. God is always showing up. God is always there. We are the ones that falter. We are the ones that fall. We are the ones that make mistakes. We are the ones that are inconsistent. We are the ones that sometimes just make a parent want to pull their hair out. When you go to pray to God, does God put up a finger and go, no, 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 no. 1 minute. 1 minute, Patty. Sorry, Steve. Need a minute. Sorry. A minute. No, no, no. Minute. No. Minute. Do you cap out when you talk to God? Sorry, is God like Facebook? Sorry, you shared too many things in your life. We're going to block you for 24 hours. No, that's not God. God is consistent. God is clear. We might not see God as clear because we do not understand the knowledge and wisdom of God in its entirety. We don't know every little bit and nook and cranny of everything. Life is not easy, but we have to stop blaming God. Because God's consistency is all around us. God's love is all around us. Change happens, and sometimes change sucks. I'm not going to say it doesn't. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that change isn't a pain in the butt sometimes. It is. But it's inevitable. The weather changes. Sometimes you get to that certain sweet spot, 65, 70 degrees outside. Ooh, I love it. Then it's 97. And then you're like, oh, I can't breathe. I'm not going to be able to breathe. And then you psych yourself out. You tell your brain, I'm going to be too hot. I'm not going to be able to breathe. I'm going to suffocate. And then what happens? You go outside and you're too hot and you feel like you can't breathe and you feel like you're suffocating because you told yourself mind over matter. Change is inevitable. It's going to snow. Then it's going to stop. That's what typically happens. It snows, then it gets nicer outside, right? You might not like bees around the house, but every summer bees going to be around the house. And so when you're like, oh man, blah, 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 you know that they're coming. We know that change gonna come. Change gonna come. That's something that, you hear. A change gonna come. It's gonna happen. It's going to be there. So we can't keep approaching life like nothing can change. It's never going to change. Things are going to change. Your hair might be dark, then you might get some gray hair. Right? You may have to, you may be able to eat a certain food that you can't eat anymore. That's happened in my life. There's certain things that I just can't, I just can't. When I was a kid, I could drink 3 Pepsis in one day. Now, when I drink soda, I feel bloated. I feel tired. I feel like I gain weight immediately. I feel annoyed. I feel lethargic. It's not good. Change was inevitable. I didn't know it was coming, but see, God is a part of every single piece of it. Change is inevitable. So is God. God is inevitable. And if we start looking at God, saying, well, God and change are both inevitable, and if God is good all the time, then maybe change can be good too. Maybe a change of scenery can be good. Maybe a change of job can be good. Maybe a change of something, a pattern, a habit can be good. But we have to look at change and understand that some of it we can control and some of it we can't. Some change is totally out of our hands. We could love somebody with everything we got, and one day they don't love us. Maybe they loved us and then they stopped. Do I believe that true love can stop? No, because true love comes from God. Unconditional love comes from God. God doesn't wake up in the morning and go, I love you on Monday, I hate you on Wednesday. But people do. And if a person can stop loving you, if a person can, unprovoked, I'm not saying you did something horrible to this person. I'm saying unprovoked. If a person could just wake up in the morning and go, man, you treat me great every single day, but I decided today I don't like you anymore, then they never loved you. See, because when you love something, it hurts. I had friends that hurt me, but I love them. I had a friend, we stopped being friends, and for 2 years, I struggled with not having that friend in my life because I genuinely loved them. I treated them as a brother. I treated them as family. I would do anything for this person. So I wanted to make okay, you know what? They treated me poorly for the last time. I'm done. I'm not dealing with it anymore. I've given them chance after chance, and I'm sick and tired of the way that they treat me. I don't like the way that they make me feel about myself, or the way that they try to make me feel about myself, because you decide how people, people can try to make you feel any type of way, but you got to be the one that lets it in or doesn't. But it pained me, and at certain points it still pains me that this person's not in my life. But they didn't love me. They didn't truly care about me, because if they did, they wouldn't have done what they did. And if they did and they did what they did, they would have apologized. They wouldn't have given up. And they can say whatever they want to say, but at the end of the day, I don't treat people the way that they treated me. And not only that, if I did, I would have tried. And if it didn't work, I would have tried again. So you can't control everything. The only thing you can really control is you. You can control what you say, you can control what you do, and you got to understand that change happens, right? When I got married, I didn't think I would be single again, but it didn't work out, and it wasn't good. And God is inevitable, just like change is inevitable. And God's inevitability was like, hey, Dan, this isn't good for you. Yes, it will change your life, but if you'll allow it to, it'll change it for the better. And it did. No offense to my ex-wife. It did change it for the better, and hopefully for her too, because we weren't right for each other, and that's okay. But that was change, and that was inevitable, and God was there, and God was inevitable. I had a dream job growing up saying, I'm going to work here. And then I had the opportunity to work for that name, for that company. And now I don't love that as much as I love working for me. But back in the day, I didn't think I was going to love anything more than that when it came to a job. But change was inevitable, and God was inevitable too. And God guided me through change into a better life. If something is meant for you, it's meant for you. It's in the Bible, and I want to make sure that I quote this accurately here. So the Bible verse is Revelations 3:8. It says, I know what you do. I have put an open door before you which no one can close. I know you have little strength, but you have obeyed my teaching, and were not afraid to speak my name. I know thy works. Behold, I have set before thee an open door, and no man can shut it. So, there's also Corinthians 2, chapter 2, or 2 Corinthians 2, what talks about opening a city, or talks about coming to a city and opening a door of opportunity. But the thing about opening doors is there is this belief that whatever door God opens for you, no man can shut. No person can shut. No human being. Nobody can shut. If God opens a door for you, it cannot be closed. If God closes a door for you, it cannot be opened. So when change happens, the next time change happens in your life, understand that if the door is shut and you can't open it again, that God is a part of that change. Even if you screwed up, even if it was your mistake, if that door cannot be opened, then God is telling you, move on. And if God opens the door, and God is telling you, walk through. And that discernment of closed doors and open doors, and what doors do we need to try to open and spend a little more time on, knowing that we can get it open, and what doors do we need to just let be, that comes with time. It comes with knowledge. It comes with wisdom. It comes with going through adversity. I tell people this all the time. Adversity sucks. I understand that. People don't like adversity, but why does it have to suck? Adversity is a beautiful thing. If you utilize adversity to gain knowledge and wisdom, adversity is one of the greatest teachers of life. Change is one of the greatest teachers of life. There's so many things in our lives that we consider negative that are actually positive, which is why I wanted to have this topic today. That change is inevitable, but so is God. The inevitability of change does not trump the inevitability of God. God is not erased by change. God works through change. God is a part of everything in your life, good, bad, and indifferent. Everything that you've gone through, God is a part of that. And you say, Dan, what about all the bad stuff? I got beat up by my husband. I got spit on by this person in school. God's a part of that. God spit on me. No. God didn't spit on you. God didn't beat you up. God is a part of it. God is there. You think God's happy when one of his children are hurt? There is a fantastic movie that I watched. And I watched it this past year. And it's called, I want to make sure I get this one right. It's called The Shack. Came out in 2017. And there's this person, and I'm not going to ruin anything. Something happens to their family. And there's some other things that happen, and they end up at the shack, and there is this human embodiment of God in three beings, just like Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. And God the Father, Yahweh, right, comes to us as an African-American woman in this movie, and this person says to God, like, how did you let your son die? Like, how did you let Jesus die on the cross? Like, you didn't care. And I'm paraphrasing. He said, you didn't care. It didn't matter to you. He's like, are you kidding me? So I wept. And she turns her hand over And when she turns her hand over, this embodiment of God, Yahweh, God the Father, she turns her hand over and she has the scar of the nail that went into Jesus. And she was like, so here's God the Father flipping their hand over saying, don't you think for a second that I didn't feel my son's pain. I feel everything he feels, like know everything he knows. And that to me was so profound, because we say all the time, if God exists, then why did my mom get cancer? If God exists, then why did my grandfather die? If God exists, then why don't I have the job I want? If God exists, then why did I just get cheated on? If God exists, then why did I step in a puddle and ruin my dress? If God exists, then why? And in this movie, it's like, how could you let your son die? And it said, oh, you don't think that I felt my son's pain? And then shows the scar of the nail in their hand too, and said, I feel everything he feels. I know everything he knows. I suffered with him that day. Wow, what an eye-opener. So the next time you go through adversity, the next time you go through change, the next time you go through something difficult, what if you thought about it as, God is here with me? Not against me, but with me. Not God let this happen, but God is with me while it's happening. God has the scar that I have. God has the memory that I have. God weeps for me, laughs with me, yearns for me, cheers for me, hurts for me, knows me. It is not that God let his only son die. It was that God made a sacrifice that pained God just as much as it pained Jesus Christ, but knew the sacrifice needed to be made for his undying love for humanity. Wow, if humanity saw God that way, how could anybody not believe? To know that God made a sacrifice that pained God himself because he wanted to be connected to his creation of humanity forever. Because God wanted to adopt us as his sons and daughters. Because God loves us so deeply. God was willing to lose and hurt and be in pain just for the long-term reward of never having to be away from us. God was willing to connect himself to humanity for eternity, knowing that we will consistently let him down. But he loves us so deeply that he is willing to navigate through the treacherous waters of humanity for the hope of being loved through it all. If we see God as a tortured poet, maybe we would stop blaming him so much. God's love for humanity meant that God had to feel the pain of humanity. God is God. God is all-knowing, all-powerful, omnipresent. God doesn't need us. God doesn't need anything, but chose us. Chose us on our worst day. Chose us on our best day. Chose us when we're late. Chooses us when we are mean, when we are rude, when we are hypocritical, when we are selfish, when we are sinful, when we are negative, when we are pessimistic, when we are ungrateful. God chooses us every single day, night. No matter what we say and no matter what we do, God never, ever, ever stops choosing us. Man, if we saw life that way, would we just stop playing this disrespectful game with our Maker? If we realize that God loves us out of choice, not out of necessity. That his love is eternal, unconditional. Because if God's love was anything less than eternal, if God's love had conditions, we would have ruined it. And he would have broken up with us a long time ago. Can you imagine anybody putting up with some of the things you've done in your life? Forever? What if you're a person that consistently cheats on people? Could you imagine somebody staying with you through all of that abuse? But God does. God stays with you through every single peak and valley that you commit. Every sin, every good thing. Every good deed, every bad deed. Every good habit, every bad habit. Every dark cloud, every sunshine. God is with you. So stop looking at change as simply inevitable unto itself and start realizing that as many as time changes and things change, you're never alone. And Anthony wrote to me, how do I know what God wants and know? How do I know what God wants and knows? If you have a close relationship with God, search your heart. I tell people all the time, you listen to the show, you watch the show, you don't have to believe. I appreciate people no matter who you are. I meet you where you're at, you meet me where I'm at. I believe in God because I choose to. If you don't, that's your choice. But as we have free speech and freedom of religion and freedom to be who we are, I proudly praise God. And if you don't, that's your choice. If you do, that's your choice. And we must all live with the choices that we make. Do I know everything about God? Absolutely not. And Anthony, I said that earlier in the show. I never said that I knew every bit of God. What I said was, to me, change is inevitable. To me, God is inevitable. So why not go through change with your best friend as opposed to doing it all alone? With that being said, we're going to take a step aside for a fast break. We'll be back after this inside of the Heritage Hill Studios with Allen Griffin on Wake Up Call. Stay with us. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville beats. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you. Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
Our corporate purpose at Chick-fil-A is to glorify God by being faithful stewards of all that's entrusted to us and to positively influence all those who come in contact with Chick-fil-A. And what became increasingly clear from our success in Cicero is that people love Chick-fil-A. And also I think we recognized that, we had a great opportunity to grow the brand and grow our platform. I felt incredibly grateful when I was selected to be a Chick-fil-A operator. I think what it's meant for me, what I've come to realize on a very deep level is that this is a calling for me. It's not a career. It's not a job. The Lord called me to be a Chick-fil-A operator and to use these restaurants to glorify Him and to positively influence other people. I'm blessed. I'm very blessed.
Head to Chick-fil-A Clay on 3974 State Route 31 in Liverpool, New York. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We appreciate you being here on Wake Up Call with us Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and we appreciate you being here every single week on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. And, of course, we are with you inside of the Heritage Hill Studios. Heritage Hill, our exclusive studio partner, and Heritage Hill in Pompey. You'll find them out on Sweet Road in the beautiful hills of central and upstate New York. And you'll find Heritage Hill North, their newest location, on 628 South Main Street in North Syracuse, minutes from so many pieces of our awesome community. I am here on the phone this morning inside of the Heritage Hill Studios with Allen Griffin, who has had an interesting morning, folks, to say the least, but we're happy to be here with Griff, and obviously he's been a part of the show for many years. So with that being said, let's bring him in. Griff, how we doing?
What's up, Dan?
So I know you're on the road. I know you're out there working hard, as always, doing a lot of great things. Bring me into, this has been a unique kind of last few months here. We've seen coaching changes. We've seen player personnel changes. I just talked about change being inevitable in life, and then I also said, change is inevitable, but God is too. Having that faith in the team, having that faith in each other, what has it been like going through the inevitability of change in these last few months?
It's been a little difficult, but, sometimes change is needed, for a lot of reasons. And in our case, we had probably about 6 guys leave our program. So obviously we're going to have a whole brand new team. So we've just been really just focusing on getting the right pieces to fit coaches style in our program, and we've done a lot of homework with a lot of these guys. So I think we're in a good situation.
And Griff, when, like you said, with all these changes, we see Munir Hema has moved on, is at Howard. We've seen Judah Mintz going toward the NBA in the hopes of being a part of the professional basketball world. We have seen McNeese State for Quadir Copeland, Malik Brown going off to Duke, and Justin Taylor heading to James Madison. These changes, and a lot of them to the starting 5, a lot of them to guys that, even if they came off the bench like Quadir Copeland, getting starters minutes, playing over half a game. How do you adjust to this new world of the transfer portal and just what it can do to a team, and in the case of Syracuse, to take the majority of the roster and put it all over the country?
Yeah, you just got to be able to adapt. The one good thing is what people are not talking about, is that the COVID seniors, those super seniors, are out the door now. This will be the last season that they can play. So for some of the guys, and then now you can get back into high school. But again, you just got to be able to adjust and adapt and understand the world we live in now. And it's all about adjusting and adapting and figuring it out on the fly, so to speak.
So with what you are bringing in, with what is coming to this team, what can you tell us about the new faces and why they fit what Red is trying to do?
I think the one thing I could talk about them in a whole, right?
Yeah.
And they all have one common thing when we recruited them. It was never about NIL. The first thing wasn't about NIL. It was about winning. Coach, we want to go to the tournament. These guys have not experienced the tournament, except for Eddie. Eddie played in the tournament last year. All 3 seasons, I think he's been in college. So but you know, the other guys, they have not experienced the NCAA tournament and winning at a high level. You know, we're on our way. We were on our way last year, and we haven't, you know, been to the tournament in some years. So it just was one of those things where it fit naturally. And then on top of that, as a whole, you know, I can't tell you all 4 or 5 of the guys that we got coming, all they cared about was, you know, being a part of a team, right? And being a part of being in the locker room with great guys and so forth, so forth. So, and that's some of the stuff that, you know, we've been trying to, you know, put together when we're doing our evaluations of the guys and most of the guys in the transfer portal. So it just kind of it almost fitted naturally just because, you know, they had common things amongst each other, and once we started evaluating them a little bit more and digging deeper into who they are as people, we just made it. You know, we felt like we made some home runs.
You know, like you said, you speak about them as a group and not individually. Putting these guys together, you kept talking about team. They want to win. They want to go to the tournament. They want to do things together. They want to win together. How difficult is it to find, in today's NIL transfer portal world, to find student athletes that truly focus on the collective and not just the individual?
Yeah, you know what, and it's not fair to, I think, our last year's team, because I think those guys wanted to win as well.
Yeah.
So I'm not talking about them. I'm just talking about our recruitment of the guys that we got coming in. You know, I thought last year's team was a phenomenal team. I thought, you know, it was a unique team, and how we won games was great because we had great players, you know, especially great individual players. Like, you know, I've said this every time I've talked to anybody about our team last year, and our best player in Judah. You know, it's like he was put in a unique situation because of his skill set and because of how our team was made up of. Hey, listen, man, we need you to go out there and go get 30 if you can, right? And you know, obviously having great individual players in Quadir, and then JJ. You know, we had a good team, and the way we had to win games was the way we won our games. You know, we would putting the ball in Drew's hands and saying, hey, you know, go get it done. So again, I think last year's team was good, very good. And what we felt like in terms of, we might have better individual players last year, but I think the team that we put together is probably, it should be a better team in terms of how, you know, style of play and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting to see. You know, obviously we don't want to compare the two teams. It happens naturally, but I think last year's team was last year's team, and this year's team obviously is this year's team with all new faces, and we're looking forward to coaching them.
Yeah, here with Allen Griffin, Syracuse Orange men's basketball alum and assistant coach here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Heritage Hill Studios. When we talk about the connection of last year to this year, and we look to how the team builds forward, how we go onward and upward, we look at what's returning. Kyle Cuff Jr., who came onto the team last year, J.J. Starling, who returned home after obviously growing up in Baldwinsville, New York, Chris Bell back here, and Naheem McLeod, who went through injury, and obviously with you working with the Bigs last season, was in your room and unfortunately had to go out, but has the opportunity to come back. We didn't get to see Chance Westry, but we know that's, you know, Chance obviously being a part of this program. William Patterson, who came in as a rookie out of Brooklyn, true freshman, I should say. So, I mean, there's pieces that are here, and although the fact that people haven't seen the William Pattersons and seen the Chance Westrys, we saw a little bit of Naheem McLeod, we saw Chris Bell, we saw JJ, and we saw Kyle Cuff Jr. What can you say about who is returning and where that leadership can come from, and those positives of the names that we are going to see come back this year?
Yeah, I think, you know, first, when you talk about a guy like Chance, he's such the wild card because nobody knows what, he is or, who he is as a basketball player because it was due to injury. So, so you got to talk about him. But Chance, and we got to be fair to Chance too because, Chance did get injured and he is working his tail off to get back into playing shape, into game shape. And it's going to take him some time. It's going to take him some time even throughout our season to get back in the flow of playing. So we got to be a little bit patient with Chance. And I think that's the one thing that Coach is being with him, and we just got to kind of get him to playing and being comfortable, especially after the injury. Then you go to Kyle. Kyle's a bulldog. He's a tough-nosed guy. That's just going to give us his everything. The great thing about Kyle is he's like an ultimate team player, which in order for you to be a good team, you got to have guys like Kyle. And that's not just saying a good locker room guy. That's just a guy that's just going to go out there and just do all the intangibles that you need in order to be a really good team. Obviously, Naheem, man. I would say Naheem is always intriguing because, again, if we can get him healthy and playing a full season, I think it'll benefit our team. I thought last year, from a defensive standpoint, when he was out there, he was averaging over 2.8 blocks a game and only playing like 12 to 15 minutes. So it's just one of those things where it'll be very intriguing to see him play a full season, JJ is going to be a stud for us. We need JJ to be a stud for us in order for us to be the best team in the league. Then you got, Chris, who is, who showed the world that he's one of the best, or if not the best shooter, not just in the ACC, but one of the best in the country. So, we got so many pieces, and then obviously we got the two freshmen, Donnie and Elijah, who will be big parts to us being a good team. But they have their learning curve too, and again, the expectations of, obviously Donnie being a McDonald All-American, finishing as high as 6 or whatever it is, and ESPN, but, coming in, he's going to have his bumps and bruises just like any other freshman. And the greatest thing about him is that he understands that, and he's a hard worker, he's a gym rat, and that's what's going to help him, help him get over his learning curve faster than other people. Elijah's another hard-working kid that's going to, have a lot to prove, especially to people. He always plays with a chip on his shoulder because people never give him, the credit. ESPN don't even have him in the top 300, which is ridiculous, but that's whatever, But so it's just one of those things where, I think we got a bunch of guys with chips on their shoulder. The returning guys got chips because they want to show what they got, and then you got the guys coming in who got chips on their shoulders because they want to get to the tournament. So and another thing is going to be an underrated pickup for us is John Carlos. Like he's going to be such a thing for us because just being a pure point guard, being out there, being able to distribute, but low key, like defensively, people don't give him a lot of credit. So just looking forward to coaching this team.
Yeah, and before I let you go, Allen, we look at the fact that with you having the bigs since you came into Syracuse, William Patterson, who I mentioned, didn't play in his true freshman season last season, standing at 7'2". He entered the transfer portal here recently. What can you tell us about a guy that we never saw in Orange, essentially?
Yeah, Will's a good player. He had to get bigger, stronger. Just the situation, it just didn't present itself for him to play his freshman year, and we just wish Will luck, and we'll see what the future holds for him.
So for you, looking at the coaching staff too, it's changed. Obviously, Jerry McNamara heading off to Siena to become a head coach for the first time ever. one of your good friends, a best friend to you, Ryan Blackwell, leaving Liverpool to join Jerry in Siena, of course, with Arinze Onuaku, a fellow alum of the basketball team. So now we look at Coach Autry going into year 2 as a head coach, you being back, Brendan Strawn being back from last season coming in, and Dan Engelstad coming into the team. What is this shakeup on the coaching staff? What does it do? Are you still with the bigs? Kind of break down where's everybody at? Because Jerry had the guards. So who's got what now, and what does the coaching staff make up now with Jerry gone?
Yeah, well, Coach hasn't assigned that stuff yet. Obviously, I'll let Coach do that amongst the media when he's ready to. But it was a great hire for Siena. Jerry's an excellent coach. He's a great development guy. Excuse me. That's going to do big things at Siena, and I was just happy for one of my good friends, Ryan Blackwell, to getting the opportunity to come in on this side and being in college basketball, which he's always wanted to do. So he got his opportunity. I think they got a really good staff, obviously with Arinze as well. It's a great thing. But for us, I think we got a coaching staff that can compete with any coaching staff in the country, recruiting and or coaching. I think Coach Autry is a lot more comfortable with what he wants. He's very clear on what he's trying to do, and we just got to go out there and execute the plan. So he's very direct now, and like he's always been. But it's going to be a good second season for him.
So, final note here, Syracuse Orange men's basketball alum and assistant coach Allen Griffin. What do you want fans to know about Syracuse moving forward, be it the coaching staff, be it the personnel? We've talked about all these changes that have happened in this era of change, so there's a lot of question marks. People have a lot of thoughts on what should they expect, what should they hope for in 2024-25. What do you want to say to the Syracuse hopeful about who Syracuse is right now?
I would say a work in progress. I think with some very good pieces that's going to compete to making the NCAA tournament team. I think we got enough to be in the NCAA tournament team, just watch out.
That coming from Allen Griffin. Allen, I know you've had a little bit of a crazy morning, so I hope that everything works out. I'll be staying in touch with you, but my best to you and everything working out on your end this morning as you're on the road. And as always, I send my best to you and your family.
All right, thanks, Dan. Appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you too. Take care. That coming from Allen Griffin here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. We had to have him on before the top dog of the week because Allen has had, we talk about change being inevitable, right? And that adversity happens and we're supposed to learn from adversity and grow from it. Well, Allen's had himself a morning, and I appreciate him navigating through that morning to make sure just things that happen in life, right? So I appreciate him taking the time still to be on the show today and keeping his commitment to being on the show today, and I hope everything works out. So with that being said, we're going to take a step aside for a fast break here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We'll be back with the top dog of the week right after this from the Heritage Hill Studios. Central New Yorkers, you can now enjoy the taste of Heritage Hill award-winning craft beers, seltzers, and a full bar at 3 locations. Spend your weekends at their beautiful location in Pompey with its amazing views, sunsets, family, and pet-friendly facilities, as well as extensive private event areas. Get their taps, tonics, and tastes in their brand new North Syracuse location at Sweetheart Corner in North Syracuse, New York. When flying in and out of Syracuse Hancock International Airport, make sure to visit their Palladino Farms location. At Heritage Hill, they believe in supporting our community and are excited to now meet you where you're at and where you're going with their local farm-raised tastes. Find out more information at heritagehillbrewery.com. Avicoli's, located on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, has been your trusted neighbor for decades. Located just steps from Liverpool High School, we're happy to have the Liverpool Warriors on-site, on-location broadcast at Avicoli's through Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single month, featuring student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year from Liverpool High School. Head out to Avicoli's today on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks. We'd love to see you out there, and of course you can call them at 315-622-5100 for takeout, delivery, and catering. That's 315-622-5100, and also find them on myavicolis.com. That's myavicollis.com. Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to Canine Kampground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see Canine Kampground and where your dog will be staying, in the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury. Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call Canine Kampground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9Kampground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and Kampground spelled with a K.com. K9Kampground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to Canine Kampground.
PB&J's Lunchbox, the food truck that you love finding all throughout Central and Upstate New York, now has a street-side cafe. So when you're craving their traditional favorites as well as their out-of-box amazing menu items, you can now head to 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. Located just minutes from the highway, the Thruway, Destiny USA, and Onondaga Lake Parkway, PB&J's Lunchbox Street-Side Cafe is there for you Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner all throughout the day. Get breakfast for dinner, dinner for lunch, whatever you fancy, including their award-winning grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Find them at 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. PB&J's Lunchbox, where we love to know what's in your lunchbox. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We appreciate you being here with us Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time right here on Wake Up Call's many channels. You'll find Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora all throughout the world, wherever you are. Could be at the International Space Station if they can pick up this Wi-Fi. YouTube.com and Facebook.com. Both / Wake Up Call DT and on wakeupcalldt.podbean.com. And you know that Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is proudly brought to you from inside of the Heritage Hill Studios. Heritage Hill, our exclusive studio partner, has two fantastic locations in our community and two wonderful ways of reaching out to us. One, out in the rural landscape of the natural beauty of God out there in Pompey at Heritage Hill Brewhouse, and another in the hustle and bustle of a bunch of different towns and areas that are all converging right at Sweetheart Corners for Heritage Hill North. So one is there for you that's close to Cicero and close to Clay and close to Liverpool and close to the city of Syracuse and all where those roads converge at Heritage Hill North on 628 South Main Street in North Syracuse, New York at Sweetheart Corner. And another is out when you want to take a little ride. and take a drive like my dad did yesterday and just get away from everything and go and see the beauty and the majesty of God's creation, see those hills, see the Palladino farms, and go into the brew house after taking a nice ride. You know, sometimes you just want to take a ride, and that is Heritage Hill out in Pompey on Sweet Road. So big time thanks to Heritage Hill for all that they do and for being our exclusive studio partner. It is now time for the Top Dog of the Week. Top Dog of the Week here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. I got a couple Top Dogs of the Week. My first Top Dog of the Week is going to be my man, Allen Griffin. And the reason why I'm having him as my Top Dog of the Week is because, like I said, Allen had a bunch of stuff today, right? Adversity, things you don't prepare for, things that just came up and happened. Yet, he made time to come on the show, made time to figure it out, and did not in any way, shape, or form say, oh, we're not going to do the show. He was trying to figure out how to do it, and that means the world to me. I've known Allen for a while. I consider him a friend, and we've been around each other for many years. And we've gotten to do a lot of things together, and he has always made time for me. So I appreciate that. And today, when things get crazy and things get difficult, and you know you're doing this and doing that, and you know technology sometimes works with us, sometimes it works against us. To know everything that he was going through this morning and the fact that he still took the time to come on to the show, never made an excuse, never said, you know, let's do it another time, didn't cancel. We just navigated around it. We found a way around it. And as much as he's dealing with stuff on his end, he made time for me. And I'll never forget that. And I appreciate that. So he's one of my top dogs of the week, because you got to shout out those that never make excuses and always show up. So thank you to Allen Griffin for that. My top dog of the week beyond that, I would have to say, is, you know, there's, like I said, there's a lot of places I can go with this. A lot of places, you know, a lot that I could pick for my top dogs of the week. But I would say, you know, my top dogs of the week right now, in a broad scope, I got some friends out there that are chasing their dreams and going after things that they want. And they don't necessarily know what that's going to be yet, what that's going to materialize to yet, but they're out there fighting, and they're out there working hard. And I just want you to know that I see you, and I hear you, and I appreciate you, and I want the best for you. Because I know a lot of good people, and I'm very proud of them. And I'm very happy that I know them. So, to those of you that are out there chasing after the things you want in life, trying to get that house, trying to, you know, start a family, going after that job, following your career, you're doing something today. If you're going after what you want in life and you're challenging yourself, you're going after something that might not be easy. And we've all been hurt, right? And if we haven't been at some point, you know, the inevitability of life is that we will be hurt. And it's how we respond to it. It's how we respond to the adversity. And I just want all you to know that even though you might not have exactly what you want, and I'm talking to myself too, even though you may not have exactly what you want when you want it, it doesn't mean to give up. There's really never a good time to give up. You can make decisions to be healthy. And if you're in a relationship or in a situation or at a job that's just not healthy, it's not giving up to say, I choose better for myself. Dreams don't happen overnight. Love doesn't happen overnight. Things that matter in life happen over time. They happen over time. And it's not easy. It's not easy to just find something and that's it, right? I mean, there are things that work out. There are things that work out, and we appreciate it. I give credit to God. Some people call it something else. But I think we've all been in a place where we get frustrated, and it's finding the peace. And really the top dog of the week, going back to lead and connecting these two segments together, when you know that change is inevitable and some things you can't control, but you know that God is also inevitable and that God oversees everything, including change. It's not anything that surprises God. Then if we know that, then we should know that no matter where we're going now and whatever this change may have caused, that we're not alone and that we're going with God. And I just want you to keep fighting. I want you to keep chasing your dreams. I want you to keep chasing your aspirations and your hopes. And I hope you catch even better than what you thought. So my top dogs are those that don't give up. My top dog is Allen today for navigating through random stuff that happens on the road and finding time to be on the show and never once saying that he was going to cancel or postpone. So I appreciate somebody who keeps their word even when it's hard to do that. And my other top dog that I would say for this week, with so many places that I can go for this, I would say my other top dog is the undrafted. You know, the undrafted. Those that didn't hear their name called. Whatever draft it is, WNBA, NFL, MLB, the upcoming NBA draft. It goes along with chasing your dreams even when it's hard, right? Because if it was easy to be a professional sports player, then there'd be probably so many more. And the undrafted, man, I mean, Sean Tucker made it onto the Bucks, was with them all season. That is a very difficult feat to accomplish, to be an undrafted rookie, catch somebody's eye, get into camp, stay in camp, go from rookie mini camp to regular training camp, then to go through the preseason, then to go through the regular season, then to go through the off season and to still be on the roster. It's not easy to do. And he did it, and Kingsley Jonathan did it with Buffalo, then Chicago, then back to Buffalo, then all last year with Buffalo, and still with Buffalo. Zaire Franklin was a 7th-round pick. Should have been at least a 3rd. Was a 7th-round pick. And 2 years in a row, he's spent time leading the entire nation of 32 franchises and thousands of players in tackles. Man's incredible. So, you know, when Tommy DeVito, starting quarterback, when people probably told him he was never going to make it in the NFL, never even going to get a workout. Starting quarterback, and one of the fun stories of the NFL, one of the stories that caught the NFL beyond East Rutherford, New Jersey, beyond the Giants organization, beyond the Northeast, beyond the NFC East, to the entire country, and out of the country probably. So, you know, to the undrafteds, to those that didn't hear their name called, I know plenty that have made it beyond that. And I'm so proud of them. So it's not about where you get drafted. It's not about who drafts you. It's not about how much money. It's not about drafted, undrafted. It's about how willing are you to work in your life toward a goal. And I think in the sports world, we want to know who the number 1 pick was. We want to know who the number 2 pick was. We want to know who, you know, got the most money. We want to know who did this. We want to know who did that. And then when somebody goes, oh, like, because people ask this, oh, you played for Syracuse? Did you play in the NFL? Yeah. Oh, when'd you get drafted? Oh, you didn't get, oh, I was undrafted. Oh. To me, there's so many stories of people that were counted out. And yeah, the number one draft pick can end up being an awesome player. And the 6th round compensatory pick can end up being the greatest quarterback of all time, Tom Brady, who was a backup in college. He wasn't picked to be the guy in college. He wasn't picked first overall. He wasn't picked in the 1st round. He wasn't picked in the 2nd round, the 3rd round, the 4th round, the 5th round. He was a compensatory pick in the 6th round, which means that the NFL compensated the New England Patriots for a move that they had made prior to, and he ended up being an extra bonus pick, and that's when they drafted him. And then he wasn't the guy after he got drafted. He was behind Drew Bledsoe. And Drew Bledsoe had to get injured in order for him to play. So Tom Brady is a prime example of counted out, kept playing, kept fighting. Greatest quarterback of all time. Winningest quarterback of all time when it comes to Super Bowls. He wasn't the number one overall pick. He wasn't the million dollar guy out the gate. Yet he's such a notable name that people that don't pay any attention to the NFL know the name Tom Brady. Just like people that don't watch the NBA know the name Michael Jordan, know the name LeBron James. Just like people that don't watch the Yankees know Derek Jeter. You don't have to be the number one pick. You don't have to come with the flashing lights. You don't have to have the fanciest car. You don't have to have the biggest chain in order to be someone who makes a difference. Someone who chases and catches their dreams. So to my top dogs, to my undrafted, to my unnoticed, to my flying under the radar, to my people who think that nobody's watching and nobody's listening, I've been there. I've done that. I feel that. I feel that to this day at times. Sometimes being the runt, sometimes being the ugly duckling, sometimes being the one in the shadows, sometimes being the one that's counted out, sometimes being the one that is the redheaded stepchild is the best position to be in. And I would take out the word sometimes and I'd say all the time. Do you know how much I embrace that? When I got treated like the redheaded stepchild, I was like, why? And there's still days where I say, why? But now I look back on over a decade of talking to Mike Oresco with the Americans saying, you're starting a league that never existed. I'm starting a business that never existed. And I put my arm around him and I said, we're going to go be redheaded stepchildren together. And now more than 10 years later, he's one of my close friends. He's been on the show a million times. He's a fantastic human being. He's always been consistent with me. And I have had one of the best relationships with a commissioner, with a leader, a commissioner who is having conversations in a room of not a lot of people about the future of all of collegiate athletics, that I've been connected to that person because he believed in me and I believed in him, and we took redheaded stepchild and we treated it like a badge of honor instead of a source of disrespect. Everyone who's anyone in this life has been a redheaded stepchild. Jesus Christ himself died for your sins, rose from the dead, and people still sit here and go, yeah, but did he really exist? And even if he did he do all of that? And this is just kind of sounds like folklore, and this Bible just sounds like it's kind of like Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter. It's a really nice story, but it's not real. After everything Jesus did for us, we treat him like a story that may or may not have happened. So if Jesus can be a redheaded stepchild and Jesus can be left out in the rain and Jesus can be counted out, why are you mad if you are? Sometimes being the redheaded stepchild, being counted out and being left outside is a compliment to who you are. Don't let this world get you down. This world is a lot of things, but one of the greatest things this world can be is a teacher if you let adversity be a positive thing and not a negative thing. Adversity, strife, being counted out, disrespected, It doesn't feel nice. It's not a fun thing. But adversity creates the best and brightest. Being counted out makes you work harder. Without adversity, I'm not me. Without strife, I'm not me. Without watching a bunch of people leave me outside in the rain and not open the door for me, I don't remember the fact that I'm different from all of them. Most of them. Instead of looking at a room full of people that are talking to each other and won't let you in and feeling like you don't belong, maybe that's God's way of telling you that they don't belong with you. Now, I respect people and I treat people equally. And I don't think I'm better than anybody else. So when I say this, understand what I mean by it. Sometimes being locked out of a room is for your own good. Sometimes realizing you don't belong is actually a compliment. We'll take a step aside for a fast break to wrap up today's show inside of the Heritage Hill Studios, and I'll be back on Wake Up Call right after this.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant.
GG Cards and Breaks. Like, comment, subscribe.
GG Cards and Breaks, coming to you on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York, is your one-stop sports card and hobby collecting shop, trading cards in general. What a fantastic place right here in our community on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York. Open 7 days a week, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Saturday, and 10 to 5 on Sundays. Make sure you head over there and let them know that DT, you can just say DT sent me over. It's as easy as that. And going over and seeing the wonderful, wonderful staff led by Josh and Anthony over at GG Cards and Breaks to help you figure out, if you've never collected cards before, to ask you who you like. Who's your favorite team? Who's your favorite player? Or do you like Disney? Maybe Disney Larcana's there for you. Maybe Marvel. Maybe Pokemon. Do you like playing games? Do you like having that side of it, right? The trading card game where you're also playing a game and challenging yourself, and maybe you like that side of it. Maybe you are looking for cards that are graded. Maybe you want to have some of your cards graded, and you can send them through GG Cards and Breaks. They are truly the one-stop shop, because if you've never collected, or if you've collected all of your life, they can help you get the things you need. They have singles, they have graded cards, they have packs, they have boxes. They will have, while supplies last throughout the week, you'll see the likes of hockey, soccer, baseball, basketball, football, AEW, UFC, all sport, and they'll also have Disney Lorcana and Pokemon. They have all different shapes and sizes of top loaders. They have your sleeves. They have binders. They now have binders that can hold your graded cards in there. So not only are your cards within that hard plastic, but you can now put them inside of a binder. They have boxes, cardboard boxes, where you can separate your cards. If you're going to be selling some of your cards, you want to have something for trade night, or you just want to be more organized at home. GG Cards and Breaks covers every element of the sports card world and trading card world. And above that, they have the most important element, which is customer service and care. There's a lot of places that you can go to where people sell stuff, but there's few places you can go to where good people with good hearts that care about what they're selling and are a part of what they're selling go the extra mile for everyone that comes through the door. GG Cards and Breaks is the difference, and I want you to experience it by going to 639 Delmar Place today and all throughout the week. Open Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and on Sundays from 10 to 5. Here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life, I want to thank you for tuning into the show today. I want to thank you for listening in inside of MonPausPopcorn.com's What's Poppin' to the Annoying Moment of the Week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt, that had 5 scoops today. I hope you were hungry for that Sunday. Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver, proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay, on the reality that change is inevitable. Change very much is inevitable, but so is God. The Top Dog of the Week, proudly presented by K9 Camp Dog Daycare and K9 Kampground Dog Boarding. Shouted out my people chasing their dreams, Mr. Allen Griffin himself, and my undrafteds, be it in sports or in life, because you know that Wake Up Call is where sports meets life. And of course, Allen Griffin, Syracuse Orange alum of the men's basketball team and assistant coach under Jim Boeheim and now Adrian Autry. Here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, we welcome you in from up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe on Facebook.com/WakeUpCallDT, YouTube.com/WakeUpCallDT, and on WakeUpCallDT.podbean.com, Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Once the shows go live, they hop into the archives, and you can feel free to find us on Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, as well as on Player FM, Podbean, Podvine, Podchaser.com, Spotify, TuneIn, and YouTube. All you have to do is search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT, to have us in your pocket, on your computer, wherever you are, wherever you're going. Your tablet, your computer, any smart device, any device that can connect to the internet. And of course, you can listen to us right through your car, through your CarPlay, on any one of these outlets by searching Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. And now, in your car, we sound like we're coming into your traditional radio. So you will find us wherever you are. You don't have to go out looking for us crazy. All you have to do is have your device with you, search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and we will go with you on your day, whatever that day is, whatever it entails. Wake Up Call is proud to be your buddy at the gym, for a walk, with the kids, at school, at your job, in your travels, 30,000 feet in the air, or wherever you may be. Wake Up Call goes where you go. And I appreciate everyone who has followed us and subscribed on all of our channels. You can visit our incredible partners in Central and Upstate New York at Heritage Hill Brewhouse in Pompey, Heritage Hill North in North Syracuse, Carvel DeWitt, the Wildcat Sports Pub, GG Cards and Breaks, Avicoli's, K9 Camp Dog Daycare, Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay, K9 Kampground Dog Boarding, Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, Pizza Man, Great Lakes Honda City, and Mother's Cupboard, as well as being the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your. Lemoyne College Dolphins. It's Fins Up every single month on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. You'll find your Dolphins Wednesdays during Dolphin Time, and that is every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. You'll find AD and DT the first and third Wednesday of each month, featuring Athletics Director Bob Beretta and myself, Dan Tortora, with a background and a behind-the-scenes and many times, many exclusive pieces with Lemoyne that you hear first and foremost in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership. The Dolphin Dive, second and fourth Wednesday of each month, diving into stories of student athletes, coaches, administration, future Dolphins, and alumni. We underpromise and overdeliver with these segments. You can find the entire library on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and find our Lemoyne playlist. You can also find the Dolphins by going to wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and to the exclusive partners tab on wakeupcalldt.com. For more information, go to LeMoyneDolphins.com. And as always, fins up. The Bryan and Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse are exclusive multimedia marketing partners of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. You could find the Bobcats on 2 campuses here in Central New York. You'll find them on James Street in Syracuse, as well as right off of Route 57 in Liverpool, literally across the street from Avicoli's. Bryan and Stratton College of Syracuse has an amazing, unique approach to what they do. They are a great place to start your education or continue your education toward a degree, or to maybe change your degree, get a new education because maybe you're looking at changing something and chasing your dreams. And I'm all about chasing dreams, and dreams can be caught at Bryan and Stratton College of Syracuse, as well as having an opportunity to be a student athlete with some eligibility left. If you have eligibility, you have the opportunity to try out for men's and women's basketball, men's and women's soccer, baseball, and esports. You can get in touch with the Bobcats right there on James Street, as well as off of Route 57 in Liverpool. And a big time thanks to our director for both campuses, being Mary Hawkins, and the entire leadership team. Find all of our content with the Bobcats by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and find our BSC Syracuse playlist. You'll also find the Bobcats on wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab on wakeupcalldt.com. For more information, go to syracuse.bscbobcats.com and go Bobcats. The Binghamton University Bearcats are exclusive multimedia marketing partners with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. You will find Binghamton every single week on Tuesdays at 10 a.m., which is what we call Bearcat Time. You have specials every month that air, one of them being Moments with Marshall, that being a behind-the-scenes look at Binghamton University with Athletics Director Gene Marshall, and the Bearcat Break Room, giving you stories each month from student-athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year. The Bearcat Break Room and Moments with Marshall, all of our content with Binghamton University, can be found on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and find our Binghamton playlist. From there, you can also go to wakeupcalldt.com's homepage to find the Bearcats, and of course, underneath the exclusive partners tab on wakeupcalldt.com. For more information, go to bubearcats.com and go Bearcats. With that being said, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, once again, big time thanks to Carvel DeWitt as our longest standing partner with our longest standing segment, The Annoying Moment of the Week. The big time shout out to Chick-fil-A Cicero, Chick-fil-A Clay, and the continued healing of Mr. Jimmer Sikowski and all of his loved ones. Big time thanks to Jimmer and his entire team at Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. Not only watch Lead every Friday around 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time exclusively here on Wake Up Call, but also watch our beautiful monthly broadcasts with the amazing team members of Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay and what we call the Light Between Us. And you can find those on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt, Instagram at wakeupcall_DT, Facebook.com/wakeupcalldt, and we share the YouTube feed to X at CallDT as well. Our most recent story with Soleil, you definitely want to check that out. And big time thank you to Soleil for joining me, Soleil Gonzalez, and the wonderful, wonderful story about paying it forward that she shared with me that you do not want to miss. So check out that edition of The Light Between Us, as well as our years of time sitting down with the amazing team members of Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. Big time thanks to Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding for the top dog of the week and for taking care of our dogs for short and long-term care right there in East Syracuse by many pieces of our community off of multiple major highways and by the thruway. Canine Camp Dog Daycare is the hub of a place being a home away from home for your dog for short and long-term care. Call the Daycare at 315-437-7110. That's 315-437-7110. You can also go and visit them online at k-9kamp.com. And for the Kampground dog boarding longer-term lodging for your dog, you can call 315-299-4013. They fill up extremely fast, so make sure if you know something in August is coming, call right now here in May and make sure you get a reservation. 315-299-4013. And you can go online to kampground.com. And of course, many thanks to a friend in the community and beyond. Big time shout out to Allen Griffin for all that he's done and for all the time we've gotten to spend together, and his loyalty and connection to me on and off the air. Allen, I appreciate you so very much. So shout out to Allen Griffin, Syracuse Orange men's basketball alum and Syracuse Orange assistant coach for the men's basketball program under Adrian Autry, and before that under Jim Boeheim. From the Heritage Hill Studios, I look forward to seeing you at Battle of the Wings this weekend. Facebook at Wake Up Call DT, X at Call DT, Instagram at Wake Up Call _DT. Go and try my wing of choice, which are the extra crispy lemon peppers from Pizza Man, my favorite lemon peppers in the entire world, and some of my favorite wings on the planet coming from Pizza Man. So big time shout out to them. I hope you all have a fantastic day. Make sure you go out to Heritage Hill and support our exclusive studio partner in Pompey, as well as right there in their new location at 628 South Main Street in North Syracuse, New York. For now, from the Heritage Hill Studios, this is Wake Up Call.